Welcome to the PYP Podcast. Y'all here with me, Rob, TVP, and Tim. It's episode 2.
You know it.
What's going on, everybody?
Today we're going to be talking about the NBA's free agency winners and losers, the NBA in-season tournament, and the drama of the NFL running backs.
Oh, yes, sir. Crazy.
How y'all feeling today? Rob, how you feeling, man?
Man, they disrespecting the running backs out here, man. They definitely need to be getting paid like the wide receivers, because everybody know you definitely need that running game playoff time. Definitely need it.
I was asking how you feel, bro. Like, how you feeling today?
On a personal level.
How I feel? Oh, I'm feeling good. My bad.
You told us last episode running backs you passionate about them. We see.
Yeah, they did that. My bad. They disrespecting the running backs, man. That's all.
PVP, how you feeling, cuz?
Hey, man, I can't complain, Good to be back for another episode. Shout out Jimmy.
Yeah.
Brody, what's up? How you feeling today, Tom?
I'm good as well. Just couldn't wait to get back on here.
Yeah, most
I'm
definitely.
gonna leave the Jimmy Dame drama leave that in last week.
It's much love. Y'all know.
All right, today we're gonna start off with the NBA's free agency winners and losers. Me, myself, I'm gonna go with a big loser. I'm gonna start us off with it. A big loser.
Okay.
The Houston Rockets. Sorry, Rob. I know that's your team.
Oh, man.
I ain't gonna lie. I know that's your team, Rob. I know they had to spend money, but giving Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks those contracts wasn't it, bro. That's how it wasn't it.
I object.
I mean, I can't totally agree.
Nah.
What's his name? Fred VanVleet.
Fred
VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet. I mean, that's just a tongue twister, man. That name.
Fred, bro.
Yeah,
we're just gonna call him Fred.
Double
But I mean,
V.
he definitely might be a good pickup for real. Like, he definitely can score the ball offensively. Be a good passer. I mean, we kind of probably did overpay for him for real, but I mean, he was due for another contract. 130 mil. I mean, role players getting paid like that for real.
Yeah,
man, they getting hot.
Role player.
Yeah,
you say is he a role player?
3 years, 42 mil a year is what I looked at.
That's about like 33, like 30 every year, something like that. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of money
right there.
But the good thing is that third year not guaranteed.
Yeah, he definitely can opt out. On that.
I wouldn't opt out.
I'm about to say from a player standpoint, he's not going to opt out that.
I think it's a team option.
Oh, it's team option? Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, it's a team option.
I don't think the third year guaranteed. Yeah. What about Dylan Brooks?
I mean, Dylan Brooks, he played good defense. Everybody just looking at him from his last year playoff antics with LeBron for real. So everybody just think he was about to be out the league for real. I mean, but he played good.
I knew he wasn't gonna be out the league.
I mean, we all know that. I mean, but he played good defense. He shoot threes, more 3-and-D type of person for real. I mean, I ain't mad at it.
All right, you ain't mad at that. What about Jock Landale?
You said about who?
Jock Landale. I know you don't know who he is, but
I mean, I gotta look at how much they pay him.
More than what he worked. He played backup center for the Suns in the second round of the playoffs when they took DeAndre Ayton out.
All right, hold on. I'm jumping in here.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't. I can't go for this. Nah. Why? Tom? Why is the Rockets? You said they free agency losers. What make them free agency losers? Is it because they overpaid players? Is that why you saying that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right,
hold on. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, I was saying you have to. Okay, go ahead.
Why. They overpaid for Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks when they have young guards.
The players winners, but the team a team, an organization. You saying they take
the players are big ones.
All right, because I'm ready to say they some wealthy contracts they signed.
Yeah,
I get
the
what you're
players are winners, but the team.
I mean, they got question marks at the guard position already for real, because they don't know if they really going to keep Jalen Green or
they drafted the Thompson to play point guard.
I mean, he played what, forward?
No, the Thompson to play point guard.
He played point guard.
Yeah, point guard. Yeah.
I mean, they got to make some decisions. Jalen Green might not.
That's another reason I think they a loser, because I don't think Fred VanVleet, like, you draft a point guard, fourth or fifth pick. 4th pick, and then you overpaid for Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. He played a 2-3. That's Jalen Green minutes.
Dylan Brooks can play. He can play the 2, 3, and the 4.
Nah.
And this on that team, he gonna be playing like 3, 4.
Yeah, he gonna be. Yeah, he gonna be playing the 3 and the 4. Jalen Green definitely.
VanVleet got to start because he's getting $42 million a year.
Yeah, man, both got to start.
Nice, like I believe the
twin gonna come out the bench right now. He got locked in a rookie contract, so they he played good in the summer league, right? Or the one game anyway that he played.
Here's why I'm gonna object and disagree, because all that sound good, all that money sound cute, but we talking about winners and losers. If it's a business, so that you're gonna spend money, whether they overpaid. Because if that's the case, if what you're saying is the case, then my counter would be Portland is the biggest free agency loser of any team, because they paid Jeremy Grant this $160 million. Ain't no way you finna sit here and tell me that the Rockets is the biggest loser when Portland, who might lose Dame. They might. How you gonna almost lose your franchise player and then pay a guy who ain't even an all-star tier or superstar tier level 5 years, 160? Like, I'm sorry, I can't sit here and listen to that. That's insane. That's
Miami. Miami was my biggest loser.
This was gonna be my rebuttal to why Miami I don't agree with that.
Miami lost some good role players.
Okay.
They gonna miss.
To the Lakers.
It's really looking like it's really looking less and less likely like Dame is gonna go there.
Why you say that?
They don't have no piece. They don't have no pieces for ream.
They do got a piece. It's called pie. They got a big slice of pie waiting for them. They're gonna toss them that bread.
Portland is not. I mean, they gonna respect his wishes and try to get him to Miami, but Portland is not going to be. They're not just going to accept anything.
They gotta be a 3. It gotta be a 3-team deal.
For right now, Tyler Hero. Yeah, they don't want Tyler Hero. So who else they gonna get? Bismack beyond. I mean not Bismack. Bam Adebayo. They not gonna trade him.
He's untouchable.
So that's what I'm saying. They want a pick 3. That's why I say Miami.
Jimmy and Bam out the question. So
that's why I picked Miami as my biggest loser, because they could have. I mean, they could have had some role players. They could have, added to that trade.
I hear that. I respect that. But this why I said, which principle is we standing on? Is we standing on the money aspect or the player aspect? If we talking about the money aspect, even them losing Gabe Vincent and losing Strus still don't accumulate to $160 million. Let me verify.
Yeah.
That don't add up. Yeah, Strus got 50. He got 62 million. And Gabe Vincent got 33, so that's under 100 million between both of them. So if you look at that, if you look at both of them, they still less than Fred VanVleet, and they still less than Jeremy Grant. So money wise, I don't know.
I mean, spending wise, yeah, they did over. I mean, you can't say they overpaid for him because you don't know how he going to play right now.
Who, Jeremy Grant?
Fred.
No, you talking about Fred? Okay. I was about to say, we know what we gonna get out of Jeremy Grant.
No, y'all said the Blazers, y'all biggest loser. I think Miami the biggest loser.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I was getting clarity on what we determining, because Tom said the Rockets was the biggest loser because of money.
TVC, go ahead, finish your statement. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. I was like, I wasn't saying that Portland was the biggest loser. I was saying my rebuttal, if it was specifically based on the money, would be Portland, because Jeremy Grant got the biggest contract. You said that you had the Rockets as the biggest free agency loser, and you were saying that was because of them overpaying Fred VanVleet. I was just trying to make sure that was where you was going with that direction. Is that right, Tom? It was just only because of the money, right?
No, well, I mean, it was money and fit, because, like I said, they drafted a point guard,
right?
4th overall.
Definitely what y'all was saying was two different things, because I feel like Portland overpaid Jeremy Grant because he's not. They giving this guy superstar money and he's not even an all-star.
Agreed.
Why they give it to him?
Was he? He wasn't restricted, right?
Because they was trying to keep Dame.
Hold on. Why they give it to him?
Probably because they thought that'll keep Dame there. But I mean, I don't really know, because I don't understand why they would pay him that much.
That's why.
I agree.
I'm lost on
that. That's why.
And as far as the Rockets, I feel like they overpaid 2 players, but they actually needed those players, but they probably didn't need to sign them for that much.
Agreed.
I disagree with that one, but
disagree with what?
You think they don't need those players?
I don't know.
Okay.
Houston, they don't have nothing, bro.
At all.
They don't have shit. A young little team, but they wasn't like a Orlando core or OKC core. But all right, off of Houston, I don't know who Denver signed, but they lost a key player in free agency to Indiana, which is Bruce Brown. So to me, championship teams always lose. Like it's just like they be like, fuck these key guys. And Bruce Brown he's not like an all-star superstar, but he's glue. He's a key, like he's a big key to them. Like he helped them tremendously. And they really let that guy go for 2 years, 45 mil.
No, I was going to say, I don't know if it's that championship teams be like letting key players go. Championship team players get people paid. That's what it is. They can't afford to keep them. That's what that is. I think if they could have kept them at the right price, they would have kept them.
Yeah, 2 years, 45 didn't seem like a big bag compared to this free agency.
But do Denver have 2 years, 45 in their contract because they got Murray and Jokic? That's the thing.
Jokic
and Aaron Gordon.
And they got Aaron Gordon.
They already paying a lot. They already paying a lot of people a lot of money.
All four of them got contracts.
They definitely, you already know, they definitely wanted to sign him back because he was a key part of why they won the championship.
Motherfucker, Mike Malone said he's coming back.
Yeah, he did. Hey, he was drunk though. He was gone.
He was drunk, but in reality, they know we can't afford this man.
Yeah.
Mike Malone probably thought Bruce Brown was going to be on some goofy.
Take a discount. Take a hometown discount. Hell no. These players try to get paid. But they can.
Hold on, go back to your point though, Tim, because I was gonna say I was following what you were saying. I just wanted to jump in on that though, because I don't think Denver let him go for pennies on a dollar. I just don't think they had the salary cap to keep him. Yeah.
All right, but to me, I still think that's an L for them.
Okay, yeah, and it is. I agree.
Yeah, because he was a big part.
I agree.
And I also got Washington because they got rid of their best two players and got two. Kuzma was I guess a solid piece for them, but he's like, to me, I wouldn't build around Kuzma or Poole, but that's what they got. Like, not saying they trash, but I don't see them like, hey, let's get.
I was going to ask. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up.
I think they need to go on a Black Friday sale, like off the break.
we talking about the Wizards here, man. They always trying to just.
Hold on, real quick, Rob. That's a good. Washington is a great pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be honest, I don't know who I would say was the free agency loser. I was gonna say the free agency loser, in my opinion, was the San Antonio Spurs. And the reason I say the San Antonio Spurs is the free agency loser is because they had the worst record in the West and they didn't do a damn thing to improve. Granted, they did draft Wembanyama. That's not a free agency move. That's just a draft pick. But it's like they ain't do a damn thing in free agency to progress in the West. Like they gonna basically say, all right, we're gonna draft Wembanyama, and that's gonna be our move to get better, which is I think is stupid as hell because you don't know what the kid gonna do. Like, yeah, he got talent. He could be nice. You know, some people might be like, well, we had some injuries, sure, but ain't nothing done in free agency that tells me, all right, the Spurs had 22 wins last year. Based on what they did in free agency, they gonna get more than 22 wins this year. I ain't see that. I was looking at the Pistons. The Pistons could be tied with that also. They had the worst record in the league, but at least what they did in the draft and free agency would match what you could argue. But neither one of them, I would say the Spurs though, because the West is way more competitive than the East is. And so in free agency, you trying to be competitive, at least in your conference.
I'm gonna counter that Spurs one. That's the Spurs. You gotta look at when the last time the Spurs signed a big time player for real. Nobody usually want to come.
It don't gotta be a big time player. Who they sign in free agency to make them better?
I don't know if that GM just don't go after big players, big time name players. But the Spurs never went after big name players in free agency. Never.
Don't chase.
They always built with them for real. Like do the draft. Yeah, if they don't draft somebody, look at their last big time star player was what? Tim Duncan. They drafted him.
Right.
What's the other center name they had?
David Robinson.
They drafted them. they drafted them. They never really signed big name players for real. They always get them through the draft. And
all right, so I'm glad you said that. So let me come back
free
to
agents.
that.
I mean, Steven. He wasn't a star player to me when they signed him for real.
He was talented.
He put up. He was talented, but I don't think he was considered like a star player.
All right, so stay on that same point then. Stay on that same point. That's because you that's where I'm going with it. They don't have to sign no big star player. We talking about who's the winner and loser of free agency, right? So let's use both those teams because I had to make sure I had these over here. The Rockets was 22-60 last year.
All right.
The Spurs was 22-60 last year. If we look at what they did in free agency, you finna tell me that the Rockets, even if they overpaid Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks, you finna sit here and tell me that them two players right there not gonna prove
got
to
a
you
better market. Rockets a better market.
Nah, but
we got strippers there in the Houston.
Rockets did better.
But this is what you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like based on what they did in free agency, even if the Rockets don't make the playoffs, what they did in free agency, they should at least get 35 wins. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't get them in the play-in.
I understand. Yeah,
the Spurs ain't do nothing in free agency to tell me they gonna get 30 wins. You know what I'm saying?
You just gotta look at the Spurs.
The Spurs could have signed.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Though.
Struz, they could have signed. They could have tried to go get Schroeder. I don't care anybody. Anybody to like get you to increase what you did last season. Like they ain't do shit. It's like we finna draft Wemby and everybody else can fall in line. That's basically what it seemed like.
I mean, all right. You saying like that? I can agree with you on that. They could. Yeah,
y'all think the Rockets have a better team than the Spurs?
Yes. Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
I still think the Rockets overpaid people, but I think their team better than the Spurs.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at with it. They overpaid.
We don't know
the question of if Van Vliet was overpaid. I'm not even. My fault. Go ahead.
We don't know what Wemby could do in the league yet. We know what the other two guys
right.
do.
Exactly.
And Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, those two, and Jalen Green and them two, the young boys they got.
Oh no, we just talking about
free agency.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I think they got some solid players. They just overpaid them, my opinion. So
I'm about to get back to the main. Well, why I said I think they're the losers, and then I'm gonna tell y'all the next team that I had as a loser.
Okay,
I think they're losers because they drafted the Thompson twin, then they signed Fred VanVleet.
Okay,
they got 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 young wings, and then they signed Dylan Brooks.
Okay.
We know this team isn't out there trying to win a championship right now. They want to develop their players.
Right.
And that's messing up minutes. That's the other reason. You overpaying for starters. Let me say that you're overpaying starters to mess up the development of your young players that you're trying to do.
Okay,
go ahead. And then I'm going to get back to it.
Okay, because I was about to say, if you're saying that you're messing up, that you're trying to develop players, you're going to tell me that Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks aren't veterans to develop the mentors? Like, you said that's taken away from minutes. Like, Dylan Brooks is like, regardless of how you feel about him, he's been in the league long enough. He's played in the playoffs where you already got playoff experience. Fred VanVleet got a ring. So you talking about them bringing in players, like you keep emphasizing them being overpaid, which is fine. But if you're going to go back and say that, like, you focus on development, how do somebody who won a championship, somebody who is a elite, or I ain't gonna say elite, we won't say elite, a very good above average defender in the NBA, that's not going to develop players that they draft?
I'm about to ask you, would you want Dylan Brooks as a mentor for one of your young players?
On the NBA, in the NBA, yes, I have
all defensive team.
In the NBA, yes, I absolutely will want him.
Mentality. That's why I wouldn't want him. That's why his mentality.
What's his mentality?
I'm gonna poke the bear. And then when we get our ass whooped, I ain't got shit to say to the media.
I mean,
what they got? Wait. No. I mean,
he did wrong at going let LeBron. He did wrong at going let LeBron. But we not just going to.
That's an isolated incident.
Yeah, that's just one incident.
Yeah, you going on an isolated incident. That ain't his. He's not known for that for his career.
Yeah, that's not known for his career. He's
been in the league for a couple years, and I think he's a dog defensively. But
I think he's a good defensive player.
Yo, prior to let me just jump in here and say this. Prior to Ja Morant being in Memphis, nobody was saying nothing negative about Dylan Brooks. It was, he played good defense. That team trash though. So you basically trying to label this man as a bad mentor or someone bad to look up to because of him going at an iconic player in the playoffs. Like, I can't say that at all. Like,
he was trying to get the same fired up.
Prior to Ja Morant, is that not another? He should have been a mentor to Ja Morant, right? or no?
You can't mentor somebody.
I'm asking a question.
Go ahead. What's the question?
Should he have been a mentor to Ja Morant?
How do you know he wasn't?
What is it about something?
What if he was and we don't know it?
Look at Ja Morant. That's what I'm saying.
Is that Dylan Brooks' fault or is that Ja Morant fault?
You can't control.
You can't sit here and put that. You can't put what Ja Morant is doing on Dylan Brooks. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. He not in that man's back pocket.
So what you're saying is when we had the conversation about Imani Bates and you said Gilbert Arenas should be one of his mentors. Now you saying it's cool for Gilbert Arenas to be one of Imani Bates' mentors?
Your response was, nah, I wouldn't say that Gilbert Arenas was a good mentor, and your reason was because of the things he did in the league. And I was like, all right, that's a good point. I agree with you on that point. Hold on. Let me finish.
Go.
I said that's a good point because I didn't think of it right then there. I was just thinking of someone who'd been in a similar situation. Now, that was Imani Bates and Gilbert Arenas. Those is two different extremes. You asking me, do I think Dylan Brooks could be a good mentor to a kid who just got drafted in the NBA? My answer is yes. Just because Dylan Brooks was on a team where an adult, a grown man who's the face of the franchise, who's bigger than him, is in media attention and chooses to make his own decisions, I'm not going to say that this individual can't mentor somebody else. My thing would be Dylan Brooks could have probably been like, hey, yo, Ja, like, maybe you shouldn't do that. And Ja was like, man, shut your ass up. Boy, I'm a grown man and it's my team. Ain't nothing you gonna say after that. Steven Adams, well respected across the league. Steven Adams has been in the league for God knows how long. Been telling Ja to chill out. Ja still was doing what Ja wanted to do. So that's not a Dylan Brooks effect. That's a Ja Morant effect.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks don't got the background that really what other than going at LeBron and saying goofy shit on the media and the media just flipping shit and turning on him. Like I'm not really a fan of Dylan Brooks because to me he's not like he's good on defense, but I like offensive players. Like he not like a ticket seller.
Not an all-star. Yeah, not an all-star.
He's not a superstar at all.
Yeah, he not. We ain't saying that. But
Dylan Brooks is not in this life like a bad person life. Like he don't do shit bad. Like you never heard of him on no bad shit. He just I guess went at LeBron and ran his mouth to LeBron and the media act like this nigga was like I don't know a thug or a bad person, but he did the same shit Pat Beverly do.
Basically.
I'm about to say, I guess he just tried to get his team fired up. I mean, it was the wrong way, but
the media will run with some shit. If you fuck with somebody the media like, they gonna run with some shit and they gonna try to fuck up your bag, yo.
That's all I was saying. Don't let an isolated incident reflect somebody's career.
Acting like J.R. Smith was the Henny guy. And J.R. Smith said, I spoke with like Hennessy. I ain't a Henny drinker.
Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, that's it.
What, back about the Rockets or my next?
But we was talking about Dylan Brooks being a mentor, and you let everybody finish.
Bro, I mean, that's why I said the Rockets.
Yeah, back to the Rockets.
Oh, well, I mean, my main thing was taking that minutes. I mean, everybody says you develop from playing in the game.
All right, so you gonna respond to my answer then? You asked me a question, I respond. What's your response to that?
Well, what was
you said? You said
talking about. So I don't know.
You had went to a point and said that you couldn't look at Fred VanVleet and Dylan. Well, I was talking about them being because you said that they didn't draft anybody who could develop their talent. And I was asking you telling me that Fred VanVleet, who got a championship, and Dylan Brooks, who has been a defensive threat in the league for the most of his career, you're telling me that they can't be players who can develop who the Rockets drafted. Your response was, so you would want Dylan Brooks to be your mentor. And then I gave you my example, and then you came back and said, so then when we was talking about Imani Bates and Gilbert Arenas, so then I responded to that and said that was one conversation, but I'm going back to the original conversation. So now I'm going back to the original conversation was you're telling me that just because Ja Morant was showing out in Memphis, that Dylan Brooks can't mentor somebody who the Rockets drafted because of a couple of incidences over a year. Like you making Dylan Brooks' career based on what just happened this last season. And my response to that was, what about prior to that? That was what I'm saying. You telling me because of what happened in Memphis that Dylan Brooks can't develop them to how to play defense, to what you should do and not do in a locker room. When you on the court, these are the type of things you want to look out for. These is player tendencies. Post game, don't be like me. Speak like he can't develop somebody all this time he been in the league. That was what my what I was looking for in my response to you, because I actually responded to what you said.
All right, to start it off, you brought up John Morant. I didn't, but I'm not. I mean, we haven't seen that he can. We haven't seen that he can develop anyone. So I can't say that he can or he can't. We haven't seen it. Would I take a Dylan Brooks? Would I take a flyer and overpay Dylan Brooks to take minutes away from? Once again, you got a lot of young wings on the Rockets, and everyone says the best way to develop is to be on the court and play. So would I take?
Who is everyone?
Players, analysts.
Udonis Haslem just said he's sitting at the end of the bench getting paid, and people complaining saying that he taking a roster spot. You know what his response was? I've been in the game this long. I'm showing these dudes what to do with their money. I'm showing these dudes how to handle themselves in certain situations. I'm showing these dudes how to be an NBA professional. So that's why I say who's saying this, because you got a guy who been in the league a couple dozen years now saying, I'm literally here to be a mentor by not being on the court, by just sitting on the bench.
He a mentor. He not talent developing them, but he's like a mentor. That's a part of development. About that. That's a little different. Like he's really
I was just about to say that. The Heat is a different organization.
It's as far as a talent developer, like you got to be a talented player to help, or at least like have like some skill at a position to help somebody with. But like Udonis like is known to being a mentor like the last 5 or more years. Like that's why they
probably 15.
There. Like,
but they go hand in hand. Like
so
they're not. I'm not saying that mentoring someone is developing them. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's a part of player development.
I think it's a part of it, but I think it's kind of
to grow in the league. I do agree you need to be on the court and play, but a part of that is also when you're not on the court, don't be pouting on the bench. Like if you don't play this game, don't act like next game you're not gonna get no play and throw an attitude. Like don't jack up 20 shots next game because you should have played the game before. Like though being a mentor is not directly developing someone, it plays a part in it. So that was what I was trying to get by that. Like I do agree you do need to play on the court, but there are gonna be some games you don't play because of matchup situations. Maybe you can't guard this guy, or this team is a small lineup and you play better in big lineups. Like all of that is a part of development also. But I think you also need to know how to conduct yourself if you're not on the court, because off court, as we see, a lot of off court incidences can translate to on court incidences.
So Tom, do you think like Dylan, somebody that he's not gonna put these young guys in check because you think he like a little knucklehead too? So you feel like he ain't gonna put niggas in check? That's why you saying he ain't good for development?
I don't think he will.
All right, okay. So I get what you're saying about that. So that's why
I'm just saying. There's only one way to find out.
I get what both of y'all are saying, but
yeah,
it's like I don't see Dylan Brooks there for like talent. It's like helping somebody with talent. I see him there as
I think he's there to be a defensive leader. To be I say to be a defensive leader. He's there to be a defensive leader. And Fred VanVleet going to be there to be one of their offensive leaders.
Offensive leaders.
Yeah,
right.
That's why I was like, all of that is a part of development. Like these young dudes going to come in the game, late game situations. They're not going to know what the hell to do. Dylan Brooks gonna be like on defense, switch everything or don't switch if XYZ got the ball. If they in the corner, trap, don't foul. On offense, if it's late game situation, Fred VanVleet gonna be like, all right, X team might look to do this particular situation. If they come around on the baseline, like break down the X's and O's in those situations because they've been there. Dylan Brooks been in enough situations to know how to tell people to do certain things on defense. Fred VanVleet got a ring, has carried a team. He's somebody you gonna listen to on offense.
He's not that nice, but he is vocal.
To an extent. Yeah, I was about to say he ain't carrying no team, but
yeah, he vocal. I mean, Dylan Brooks is vocal. He ain't all that nice, but he will. I believe he is like he be out there bitch yelling at niggas on the court. I think.
Let me ask y'all this question: how y'all feel about the Kings being a free agency loser?
The Kings was in the playoffs, so I wouldn't call them a free agency loser because they didn't do anything to digress. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, if they were stagnant, that would get them back in the playoffs. Like, you know,
they didn't lose it. They ain't lose a core player, right?
Yeah, they didn't put themselves in a position to like.
They didn't lose a core play. They lost somebody. But they picked some. Ooh. They picked Nerlens Noel. They lost Rashawn Holmes. They traded him to the Mavericks. No, I'm just saying he's not a. That's why I said that, not a core play. They lost somebody.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the Nerlens Noel.
They signed Nerlens Noel. They re-signed Trey Lyles and they re-signed Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. I don't look at them as a loser.
I wouldn't call them a loser. I say they stay stagnant.
And staying stagnant. Well, I mean, the only reason I asked because that was your gripe for the Spurs.
Yeah, and they had the worst record in the West. Like, if I'm like,
saying the Spurs
I was getting ready to say, like, if I had to compare free agency to the Sacramento Kings and the San Antonio Spurs, like, the Spurs is the biggest loser because they didn't do anything to improve. Like, the whole purpose of free agency is to better your team or at least stay equivalent. Like the Nuggets, for example, like they didn't need to do much in free agency. They just won a championship. So they don't need to really do much in free agency because if anything, they trying to stay where they was so they can go back to win. The Kings was the 3 seed in the West in the playoffs. They played Golden State in the first round. So if you stay where you are, you at least in a position to be top of your conference to go back to the playoffs. Like,
so losing in the first round is cool.
I mean, is it cool?
They played the Warriors.
No. Just on principle, is it cool to lose in the first round compared to not making the playoffs? Most definitely. Like, I would rather lose in the first round of the playoffs than not even make the playoffs because playoffs you get an incentive.
I think I'd rather lose or as an owner or a player. Which one are we talking
Doesn't
about?
matter. Like if you a player,
as an owner or GM,
doesn't matter.
I'd rather not. Well, I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
As a player, you just said you get an incentive.
Right.
So as a player, yeah, I take the bonus. But as a GM or owner, you're getting the top. You're most likely getting a top pick, depending on if you got your picks or not. So you're improving.
No, you're not. Because as an owner on the business side, if you go in the playoffs, you're making more money because you got playoff home games. So you're not getting no bonus for not making the playoffs at all. Even if you get a top pick, so what? Like you getting a top pick is not benefiting your franchise compared to a franchise that was just in the playoffs. Like you can use the Spurs and Kings, for example. You finna sit here and tell me that the Spurs won last season by drafting Wembanyama when the Kings didn't do nothing in free agency and they was just in the playoffs as the 3 seed? That don't even make sense.
Oh, I'm about to tell you the only difference between that is because the Kings just had the longest stretch of not making the playoffs. That's the only difference between that statement that you just said. So them being a top seed in the NBA was great for them. They just made a lot of money. But if it was Dallas,
I use the Nuggets for example. I'll use the Warriors for example. The Warriors,
they're a competitive team, so you can't use them. We're talking about
you talking about free agency winners and losers, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, no, and I'm saying the King. You said the Kings. Do I think the Kings? Because they had the longest stretch of not making the playoffs. So the fact that they just were competitive and made the playoffs, that's great for them. But if it was like Orlando Magic, no, I don't think that's why Dallas didn't go. That's why they tried not to make the playoffs. Again,
that sounds good and everything, but this the fact. Free agency is to improve your team from last season to be better the next season, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let me that's the whole purpose of free agency. So you said the topic was free agency winners and losers.
And we've all used the draft.
So, okay, well, no, we can use the draft. That's fine. But what I'm saying is include the draft and free agency. The Spurs improved because of Wembanyama because they got the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
We ain't even seen them play. So how can you say that?
You said money. You said money, right?
Right. Well, I was using the playoffs as an example because you said as an owner, I would not want to make the playoffs. I want the highest pick possible. My response was no, I would not. You said, would you rather lose in the first round? And I said yes, because as an owner, we're going to make more money because we're going to sell more tickets because there's still more games being played. And I believe in the owner's contract, if the teams make the playoffs, there's also an owner's incentive in that also. Because I believe there's even another incentive if you make the finals. I mean, I'll have to go and double check that. But I'm pretty sure as an owner, if your team make the postseason, y'all get a bonus for that. And you making money from ticket sales. The teams not making the playoffs, number 1, not making no playoff money. And number 2, like you said, their only bonus is a high draft pick. But would you rather a high draft pick or go to the playoffs?
I mean, we just saw what Dallas did. They didn't make the playoffs intentionally. We can agree on that, right? Or am I the only
teams try to tank? No, we can. Yeah, teams try to tank. I'm pretty sure we all can agree with that. That ain't got nothing to do with you moving the goalpost, though.
I'm not moving the goalpost. They tanked and they won. They won.
No, you bringing teams tanking. I'm talking about how we go from. You said you thought the Kings lost free agency because you said you would consider the Kings losing in free agency
because they didn't improve. That's what I was getting at. They didn't improve.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not even here to disagree. But you were trying to say that, or I thought I heard you say. Correct me if I'm wrong. that the Spurs wouldn't be considered a free agency loser.
Yeah,
and you said the Kings were a free agency loser. That's what I was trying to make sure I understood.
No, I didn't say. Well, you said they didn't improve. I said they got Victor Wembanyama, so I don't consider them losers.
And I was saying the draft is not free agency. That's what I was saying.
But we also use the draft as free, like all season.
I've been saying from the beginning that the draft isn't considered free agency.
I think to me the draft isn't free agency, but another thing with tanking, I think teams tank when like Dallas, how Dallas could have made the playoffs, but I think they tanked because they knew they wouldn't go far with what they had. That's why I think they tanked. I don't think they tanked to get a player. They tanked to get a pick, but they only did that because they knew they wouldn't get far. Like I don't think like if they was confident in winning, which like a lot of people thought they would, like they probably could have went far with them two, with Luka and Kyrie. Like that's talented as shit. So they probably could have went far, but Cuban probably was like, yo, let's try to get a pick because I don't think these two could carry us past the first round or something. So that's probably why 100%. I think they think.
I agree with that.
What y'all think going on with Harden?
I think Harden.
He a big topic right now.
We want to get traded.
That's a good question.
Where you think he might land? They saying the Clippers. They throwing the Clippers out there. They was talking about Houston, but I don't know. He definitely
ain't going back to Houston. Yeah, that's a dub.
Yeah,
Fred VanVleet ended that.
He ain't going back to Houston. He might wind up with the Clippers.
Or you might stay.
Right now, if you had to ask me what I think gonna happen, he might have to stay put where he is. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know where Harden go. Like, you know,
I think he could help Luck with the Clippers out, but I don't think they're giving up Paul George for James Harden.
They better not.
They were trying to make a deal for Paul George for the Knicks, and I think they said the Knicks declined. The Clippers crazy for trying to do that, like because
that's nuts.
A healthy Paul George is a game changer.
Hey, but what y'all said last episode, the best ability is availability.
You know
what I'm saying?
And that's what it was. New York didn't want to. New York is not going to. If he gets traded, he's not giving them. They're not giving him and like no extension or nothing. That's what I think I read.
Okay, so which I can't blame him. And PG, my guy, like PG, but yeah, you know. That was y'all signature last episode. The best ability, availability.
That's right. Call him Rob.
Yeah, availability. You already know.
For those who don't know, there's an in-season tournament. So basically what they're doing is they took all of the teams from each conference, from the East and the West, and they put them into 3 groups. You have Group A, Group B, Group C. We'll get into each group individually because I want to know who y'all think got a cakewalk, because I think one of these groups got a cakewalk. But what they're going to do is, so in November, they call them the group. There'll be the group games, and then there'll be the knockout rounds. Everybody in each group, so all of the teams in Group A will play each other twice, one home, one away. So the winner from each group automatically goes to the knockout round. Whoever has the best record in second place from each conference will be a wild card. But it's only one wild card from each conference. In December, you'll have the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals. The quarterfinals will include the winners of the group and one wild card from each conference. They'll play each other. The winner of those games play in the semifinal round. The winner of those games will play in the championship. Now, I know a lot of people might be like, the hell is how does this affect the regular season? These are all still regular season games. The only game that will not be a regular season game is the championship game.
I love that.
And yeah, I do too. I thought that was to make people still play. Everybody else who don't make the in-season tournament, they'll get 2 random games for their 82 season game. All of the teams who make the knockout round for the in-season tournament, the losers of the quarterfinals, they all get $50,000 each. The losers of the semifinal round get $100,000 each. The losers of the championship game get $200,000 each, and the winners of the in-season tournament all get $500,000 each. Now, do y'all have the teams from each group up? Because
I don't.
I posted it on our page as well.
Yeah. And I'll put the screenshot up here. I'll put the screenshot up here, but just for the listeners who might not be able to see this, we're gonna start with the West, the Western Conference, obviously, which is the best conference.
Is that where you think the cakewalk at? Well, hold on, real quick. What conference do you think? You said there's a cakewalk in one of the
team in the East that's got a cakewalk through their group.
All right,
They don't got a cakewalk. They don't have.
There's a team on the East that's got a cakewalk, but
I think I see who you talking about. But
all right, so now we gonna talk about it because I want y'all thoughts. All right, but check this out. So these are how the teams were grouped in the West. So Group A is Memphis, Phoenix, the Lakers, Utah, and Portland. That's Group A.
Tough.
And Group B is the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, and the Rockets. And Group C in the West is Sacramento, Golden State, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, and the Spurs. On the East side, Group A on the East is the 76ers, the Cavaliers, the Hawks, the Pacers, and the Pistons. And Group B in the East is Milwaukee, New York, the Heat, Washington, and the Hornets. Group C is Boston, Brooklyn, Toronto, Chicago, and Orlando.
Cakewalk.
You think the Celtics? Got a cakewalk in there?
I want everybody in the comments, please say who y'all think got the cakewalk.
And y'all look like y'all had the same reaction as me, but I didn't say anything. I'm going last. You know what I'm saying? So who in the West? I want to start in the West first with y'all. Who y'all think is coming out of y'all? How y'all want to do this? Who coming out? Let's do each group. Who y'all think win Group A?
I'll start first. I'll start. I think Memphis taking Group A.
Memphis takes Group A. All right. Rob, who win in Group A? You need the names again, or you got them all? Yeah.
Phoenix. No, I got them. Phoenix.
Okay. Think Phoenix? Okay.
You think Memphis is going to take it with Ja Morant not playing like the first 30 games?
I was waiting for that to come up.
You think Memphis going to take it?
Hell no. But go ahead, Memphis? Tom. You think Memphis coming out of Group A without Ja?
And without Dylan Brooks.
They got Marcus Smart. That'll be the counter to that. They got Marcus Smart. Derrick
Rose.
Rose.
Hopefully they play Derrick Rose.
Shout out D Rose. Shout out D Rose.
Shout out D Rose.
Shout out D Rose. All right.
I think he's going to get better until Ja come back.
All right. That's funny as hell.
Damn, who you got coming out Group A?
Toss up between Phoenix and the Lakers, but on paper I would go with Phoenix.
I'm gonna say I think that I'm with Tim on paper. I think Phoenix come out of the group. I think the Lakers will come out the group, and the only reason I'm gonna say that is because it's gonna be so early in the season. Phoenix gonna have to get used to playing with each other. Memphis gonna have to get used to playing with Marcus Smart. Like on paper, it's a different story versus chemistry and playing together. So I think on paper, I'm with Tim. You would think, oh yeah, Phoenix should come out of that. Utah and Portland ain't even worth wasting our time talking about. All right.
Lakers got some they signed already as well.
Yeah, they did pick up some pieces in free agency that I think will help.
I think it's gonna come down to them too.
For sure, yeah, without a doubt. If Ja was playing, that'd be a different conversation, you know.
Yeah,
shout out D Rose, shout out Marcus Smart. I like both of them, but keeping it serious here. Let's be serious. I gotta see it to believe it. All right, let's get to Group B. Group B. Who coming out of the West? Group B.
If New Orleans, like I don't know, is Zion ready to play yet?
Which,
You never know.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's a coin flip.
Kawhi and Paul George, are they ready? Like defending
supposedly.
Because this availability shit changes the game, but they're unavailable. So I'm going with Denver.
All right, what'd you say, Tom? What were you saying about the Clippers?
Oh no, I was about to ask Rob. Who you got?
Well, who my pick is?
Yeah, out of Group B.
Oh, we ain't gonna say the Rockets. I don't think the Rockets. I'm being honest. I don't think they're gonna do it. I'm gonna go with a surprise pick. I'm gonna say New Orleans. I think Zion probably play. I think Zion probably play this year. He's gonna come back. I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
Okay,
they tough if they healthy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going. That's what I think he's gonna play. So I'm gonna go with them.
Okay.
I'm taking the Pelicans as well.
I think the
Pelicans gonna be that surprise team this year for real.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think because we talking about if healthy, right?
But
if
healthy, I'm going with the Clippers if healthy. Yeah.
Clippers.
That's
Yeah, that's not a bad.
If they healthy,
that's not a bad pick either.
Because if they not healthy, then I would go. If we going fully healthy teams across the board, fully healthy, and I would go Clippers, and then I'd probably say Denver second, close second with the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans is going to be a problem, but talking about across the board, yeah. If healthy Clippers, then I go with the Nuggets.
Rob, who you picking out of group C?
I mean, this one I'm gonna just because I don't even know how the Warriors are gonna play this shit, man. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just rock with the Warriors. I'm gonna just say the Warriors are gonna come out with that one. Okay. I think they're gonna get big up. But I'm gonna go with the Warriors.
All right.
And who you got?
Warriors as well, but man,
it's tough because the Thunder might surprise people this year. Because Shaq back, man, he played good in the summer league. The Timberwolves, they made the playoffs this year. I don't think they really made no big moves in free agency, but
they made the play.
Okay, they made the play.
No, they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs. They played the Nuggets in the first round.
Right, they made the playoffs. So they played the Nuggets in the first round. Maybe they think they might improve with the team that they got already. They might think they might get better. I'm not saying like it's a toss up, but I'm gonna just rock with Golden State. I think Golden State gonna do it.
I'm going Warriors too, man. No explanation needed. Tom, we're coming out of group.
Who you going with, Tom?
I'm going with the Thunder.
The Thunder.
Right. That's his team on the low.
That's a sleeper. I know.
I said that.
You like them?
That's what I said. They know already though.
Yeah.
I said that.
Going to the East. Coming out of Group A.
Cavaliers.
I'm going Cavaliers too.
Yeah, the Cavs do got a nice squad. I'm gonna agree with y'all on that one. I think the Cavs gonna come out of that one too. Pacers, don't sleep on the Pacers though. Pacers might be all right.
If Harden's still there, I might the 76ers beat the Cavaliers last year in the playoffs, right?
If that's what you want to go off of, sure.
Yeah,
that's what
I like Cleveland. I thought Cleveland was going to beat the 76ers, so I was rocking with them, but they lost. But I like Cleveland. I ain't going to switch up on them from last year. I like Cleveland.
All right, so we all got Cleveland coming out of A. All right, that's what's up. Okay, all right, Group B.
I don't think they played each other in the playoffs though. I'm not 100% sure. I think the Knicks and Cleveland played.
The Knicks and Cleveland played each other
in the first round. Yeah, that's right.
I think Toronto. I think they beat Toronto. I'm not 100%.
That sounds about right. Yeah, because the Celtics beat the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Hawks, and then the Heat beat the Bucks in the first round. That's right.
Yeah, so they didn't play in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, Group B.
Let me put it. I think Group A of the East might be the toughest one. That's just my opinion.
In all conferences or just the East?
Yeah, in all conferences.
Who?
You said the East?
As far as competition even or tough?
As far as competition.
Like you mean competition amongst groups, right?
Yeah.
Like they got the hardest group. Right? Yeah. I would say Group C in the West got the hardest competition when you look at all five.
B in the West.
Yeah, I mean B in the West is up there too, but
because I think everybody had a different team, right?
No, it was Pelicans and.
I got the Pelicans.
I had the Pelicans. I was the only one who had the Clippers out of there.
No, Tim, you picked the Nuggets.
I said the Nuggets because I believe they're going to be healthy. But the Clippers, to me, if all healthy, would be the best team. But I chose the Nuggets.
Same thing you said, right, TVP?
Yeah, that's what I said. If we going all healthy, I got Clippers. Yeah, that's a good conversation. I was going to say that too after we talked about who our picks was. But I agree with you. I do think Group A is a challenge for sure.
Even, it's definitely close.
All right, Group B of the East, I'm going Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, same here. I'm going Milwaukee too.
Milwaukee.
I go with the same thing.
Milwaukee. Right. Okay. Were you taking out of Group C?
Group C?
Don't switch up even, nigga.
You said don't switch up.
Yeah.
What you mean don't switch up? No, he said, I think paper-wise, you're probably going to have to go with the Celtics. But I don't know. I think the Nets might surprise somebody in that conference. Like, I think the Nets going to surprise. So I'm going to pick the Nets.
That's why I said don't switch up.
I ain't switching up. I'm picking the Nets.
Okay. All right, you got the Nets.
Then who you got?
Celtics.
TVP?
I got the Celtics also. Tom, let me guess. You got the Raptors?
No, I'm going with Orlando.
I was
to win.
I had a feeling you was gonna say one of them back two teams.
I'm going with
All
Orlando. I
right.
thought Orlando was going to make the play-in last season. I'm going with them this season.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
not.
Okay.
I ain't mad at it, but
I ain't mad at that. That's a surprise.
Oh,
I think
that's a
This who
future.
you want to win or who you believe will win?
I think they go. I think they can win it.
Oh, all right.
Okay, hey, all right, right on. Who y'all think is the wild card? All y'all got y'all teams out of A, B, and C. Who y'all think is the wild card of the teams y'all didn't pick?
Second best team in the conference in the group.
Who won't? Yeah, out of all, yeah. Who out of everybody who you didn't pick as your group winner? Who you think be the wild card? That'd be the second best.
Nuggets.
Okay.
Right.
The Nuggets. Second best team, I think, could come out. I'm gonna go with the Lakers. I'm gonna rock with the Lakers.
You had Phoenix winning that group, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Phoenix coming out of there.
Well, this out of the whole conference, right?
Yeah. Who don't win? Yeah. Who you think the best team that you didn't pick to win that group?
Yeah, because out of that full conference, only one team can be that wild card.
Can be the wild card.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with the
Denver.
I'm with the Lakers.
Or Golden. Shit, Golden.
That's a good one, ain't it? Yeah.
It's tough. Cause like if the Clippers healthy, they will.
What you was saying about Kawhi?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The nigga got to play, so that fucks up. Yeah, that fucks up everything. So
Yeah, what you were saying about
Kawhi? He
Kawhi?
probably don't even play the whole. He probably don't even be hurt and don't even play the whole tournament. Like I don't feel like.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be hurt, but still ain't gonna play. I don't think he's gonna care too shits about it for real.
I got Phoenix as my wild card.
I was saying, Tim, who you got? Did you pick the Clippers?
No, Golden Nuggets.
Golden Nuggets.
The Golden Nuggets. Golden Nuggets. This man got a tie for second. Hey, that is a good question though. In the event of a tiebreaker, because if you play the same team twice, but y'all both beat everybody else in the conference, I didn't see nothing about a tiebreaker.
They probably just do a coin flip.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They might. Or maybe by they probably do like points scored or some crazy tiebreaker like that.
Well, just that's overall record.
Yeah,
not the Golden Nuggets.
Not the record.
I got write y'all picks down so I can remember this.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know who drunk or ride with Tim. My boy said the Golden Nuggets.
He said, "No, how you gonna put me in it? I ain't drunk. I ain't say nothing crazy."
That's history right there. That boy said the Golden Nuggets. I had to go double check.
You did something earlier, Rob.
Oh, when you introduced us, when you introduced him, I started talking about the running backs.
Rob, how you feeling, man?
Man, they disrespecting the running backs out here, man. They definitely need to be getting paid like the wide receivers, cause.
Oh yeah. That's like you did something earlier, like I don't want to go sauce.
Nigga did say, "How you feeling today, Rob?" He said,
I get right to the running back.
All right, Tim, who you picking?
Nuggets.
All right.
As the
Rob,
wild card.
who you picking out? Yeah, who you picking out of your wild card in the East?
I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Celtics.
You can clip me right behind them. I got Boston as well.
Okay.
Going with Milwaukee.
All right.
Hold on, who you picked to take that? Hold on, who you picked to take that group? No, you gotta pick somebody else. You pick.
You pick them to win the group. They can't come out. They'll be the winner. The wild card is whoever didn't win.
We talking about the whole East, right?
The wild card.
Who your wild card team?
I did have Cleveland winning their group.
I thought you picked 76ers. My bad.
No, I had Cleveland. I got Cleveland winning that group. So I'm gonna go with Harden's still at the 76ers.
No, I think you picked 76ers because you said they beat them in the first playoff.
Said they beat.
No, but I did say I'm still. I said I ain't gonna switch up on Cleveland.
Yeah. I think that's right. Okay. Yeah, I'm with them also. I would have the Sixers as the wild card. All right. So who win in the West?
Who win in the West out the whole thing?
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Okay.
You said Phoenix?
You said Phoenix.
Yeah. New Orleans or the Nuggets? I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I'll
probably have to say. I'll probably say Denver. I think Denver early in the season.
Denver
wins the season. I don't have them coming out the group. I do got the Clippers, but I think you got win and get in. Nuggets get in. I think they they come out the West.
I'm gonna go ahead and rock with Phoenix. I think Phoenix might go ahead.
Who coming out the East?
That's tough right there.
Cleveland. I'm going with Cleveland.
Wow.
Okay.
The East, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick Milwaukee. They got a lot to prove. They lost in the first round last year.
VP, who you got?
I think Boston gonna come out the East.
I like it.
I like how you said they got something to prove. I think they got something to prove too, losing Marcus Smart. Yeah.
They got to show everybody that just because we lost him, we lost the step.
Tim, who you got coming out the East?
That's Marvel, brother.
Hey. Hey, that's what's up. All right. Who got a cakewalk walking through their conference? Who y'all think out of all of the groups? Who got the easiest group?
I'm pretty sure all three of us believe you're talking about Boston Celtics.
That's what y'all think? Y'all think I was saying Boston got the easiest? Of course they do. It's not even a question.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm like.
They got the easiest group. That ain't nothing to even think about. Like, come on, man.
I think Brooklyn gonna be competitive. Toronto gonna be competitive.
Y'all using the word
Chicago,
competitive. Do y'all know what competitive
Chicago
means?
Chicago made the playoffs.
Chicago, Brooklyn winning that conference, right?
Yeah,
I got Brooklyn winning too.
No. I heard Orlando.
I got Brooklyn.
Listen, man. Brooklyn gonna be competitive. They gonna lose. Toronto might not even be competitive. Let's be real.
Hold on. Toronto didn't make the playoffs. Brooklyn made the playoffs.
Correct.
Chicago made the playoffs.
No, they didn't.
They made the play-in.
Brooklyn made the playoffs and lost in the first round to the 76ers, I believe.
Correct.
So I think we said Toronto made it. That was last season that they made it and lost in the first round to the 76ers. I just wanted to clear up something that we said earlier. I had to think about it. Brooklyn and 76ers played in the first round.
Oh yeah.
Sweep season. All them gonna be. I'm not even gonna draft. Yeah, they all gonna be competitive. Out of all of these groups, man, Boston winning that. And I don't have to think about it. Competitive is cool. You could be competitive. Miami was competitive in the finals, and what happened to them? They got beat 4-1. So competitive sound good. At the end of the day, they not. We gonna see. They not. We is gonna see. You know what I mean?
We definitely gonna see.
Watch all the other groups. Watch how close the other groups be.
On Boston.
It ain't no pressure. I don't think it's pressure.
Not pressure at all. Boston is a team that's expected to win.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got the highest favorites to win.
I mean, yeah, of course.
And this is really what I wanted to get to with y'all on this. How important is this play-in season tournament? Like, do this make the NBA more exciting, or is this just something for them to throw in there to get some more money? Like, do this do anything for the NBA?
I think they just try and get the stars to play. I think that's why they put it in there.
I don't think it's getting the stars to play.
I don't either.
I don't think it's getting the stars to play.
What is $500,000 to Fred VanVleet?
I think that's why they did the in-season tournament, because the fans is paying all these tickets to see these stars play, and they not playing. So now I guess the players' contracts, they getting hella money. I don't think the stars gonna care about that money. Like, I don't think that's still gonna get them to still play games.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, it's a toss up. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to stop them. The young players. That's why I say I think it's more for them young players. They definitely going to play hard. They gonna want that money.
Look at majority of my picks.
Yeah, they young teams.
Young teams.
Look at majority of my picks.
Yeah, young teams.
The commissioner said this in-season tournament been in the they've been throwing this in the air for like over 10 years. They just never got to it.
Yeah. I heard about that too. Now, let me throw this out here. Do this help with debates for players? Imagine people how we talk about, shout out my guy CP3. You know how they always be trying to get on CP3. Oh, you need a ring. You need to get a ring. So is this something players or people can start throwing arguments? Well, they might not got an NBA Finals ring, but they got that in-season tournament ring. They was in-season MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you start swinging this in arguments?
No. JJ Redick did throw this shit out there too, because they was talking about bragging rights, but I don't think this is not really, because they
maybe later on when they switch it up, if they were to switch it up and give you more compensation for winning it? Possibly, but not at this moment. No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like LeBron will fucking throw $100,000 at any of these motherfuckers' faces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nah, that's real. I just thought about that from the fan perspective because like last episode, how we was going back and forth about Dame and Jimmy or whatever. Like let's say we talk about a player who ain't got a ring, but they go and show out for the in-season tournament, average a triple-double. They MVP of the in-season tournament championship,
Man, I don't even want to talk about that.
Y'all know it's coming though, right? Y'all know it's coming. Yeah,
MVP though.
Yeah. I'm telling y'all know it's coming, and I'm going to die.
He top 75.
They gonna throw that in there.
They definitely gonna throw that in there.
He got in-season MVP.
Oh man, that was the first thing I thought about. I said,
man, first ever in-season ring.
I think it's just I don't know. What's the point?
Nah, it's not, man. It's not. But I'm just
trying to have as many accolades as they can, man.
Yeah, that was what I thought. I said it's just another way to throw some more highlights on somebody's career. Let's wrap this up with this NFL free agency, man. This been big news for the last few days. NFL not paying running back. Saquon Barkley to face all of this. They won't pay that man his money. What y'all thoughts on this? Him and Josh Jacobs. They not getting long-term contracts.
Tony Pollard too.
Oh yeah,
I think. Yeah, I mean, my opinion is I think they need to get paid like the receivers because they just important. As the receivers, they getting paid a lot of money. I think they should get paid. I don't know how they need to do it, but NFLPA, they need to do something with these running back contracts. Like, seriously, like, come playoff season, what do they always talk about? Defense and make sure you running the ball good.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, that's what they always praise about. Why the running backs just can't get paid, and that's all I gotta say about it for real.
So is this because of running backs and their I guess more prone to get injured?
Yeah,
I mean, they do get injured. They do get injured a lot, but they the ones that take the most hits out of everybody for real.
Yeah, and to bring context to everybody, the reason it's a big issue, this is the media's perception of it, that a running back's best or peak years is their first 4 years in the league. Out of college, fastest, most durable, but that's also your span of your rookie contract. If we really like them, we can slap the franchise tag on them. That's how it's being put out there from the media standpoint as to why this is such an issue. They look at it like running backs can be replaced every 4 years. I don't agree with that. I'm with Rob on that. I think you can replace a running back every 4 years for sure. You can put someone in a position, but like, are they going to be as productive? Nah, I don't think so.
Every 4 years, you're not getting another.
Christian McCaffrey's. I think they were trying to use Zeke as a problem because Zeke got his money, and I think once he got his money, he started getting hurt, and then he wasn't as productive. So, like, from the business standpoint, I think it should be a balance. Like, I don't think you don't pay your running backs, but Rob said you pay them like receivers, and I don't know that I would say you pay running backs like receivers because it does come down to the physical wear and tear.
Running backs, they running the ball, and they catching the ball like receivers. Yeah. So you pay them. Like they got to do something about that. Like, I don't know, put incentives in their contract where though they reach a certain.
I'm gonna tell y'all the best solution: give them front loaded contracts with heavy incentives.
You give them a front loaded contract as a rookie, or front loaded contracts when they get their extension.
Yeah, that's after the rookie extension. I think give them a front loaded contract. You get your money the first 2 years after your rookie contract.
Okay.
And you get incentives based on your performance. I think that's the only solution to it. But I get the teams not wanting to do that as well. But I think that's the only way, like the only mid ground.
Yeah, running backs do get hurt. They definitely do get hurt a lot.
I think the only reason that might be an issue is because if you front load, like how much you front load in a contract. Like let's use Saquon for example. What do Saquon want? Don't he want like
I don't know what exactly?
Like around 12 and 14. I thought that's what
okay. Yeah, I might be. I was gonna say
like 12. Yeah, like 12. Something up there with like Derrick Henry getting like.
I think it's around like 12 and 14 mil.
Do y'all believe real quick while you pulling those stats up? Marshawn, I think he said something about Antonio Brown said it as well about when you getting close to hitting an incentive, like owners holler at the coach and be like, "Hey, yo, don't
take him out."
Take
him out the game.
Let's not feed him the ball. Let's not throw him the ball. So I get what you're saying about make them earn it, like incentives. But these incentives can be basically like denied by your owners.
Yes.
That definitely can happen. I mean, they definitely can do that.
That's true, but that's also one of those things where you gotta have a good agent, or you just gotta be working on your contract yourself. Because if you have an incentive where you gotta have 1,000 yards, you also gotta try to work in it. I gotta play a certain amount of downs so I can try to get this 1,000 yards. Because if you just put 1,000 yards and
they only give you like 200 touches.
And I was just about to say,
or if you get hurt.
Or if you get hurt. Yeah.
I was
even
gonna
if
say,
you don't get hurt.
The coach is gonna be like,
I'm just saying,
they have you in and they're not giving it to you.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna say, all right, I understand what you said. I'm saying, say they give you get 500 touches and you don't get 1,000 yards.
All right, that's different. If you're getting the touches,
that's what I said.
If you get that, I mean, if you get an opportunity, you better take advantage of that shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like you gotta have an agent, or you gotta work on that. You gotta make sure your representation is working on that contract so you can.
And then running back show don't really get a lot of chances. Like
I was just about to say that. I think that's the problem with incentives. Like you know how these coaches be running backs. Like some coaches use 2, some of them use 3. Right. So
like some of them, that's just how like coaches like to use their running backs. Like, I mean, it's tricky.
My question to you would be like, because Tom that's a good point to say that to put in incentives, but it's different for receivers. Because Tim made a good point, because you know some running backs would be like, they pull me, I can't get my incentives. Receivers on the other side, you hear it all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, you need 3 catches." Like it's so much easier as a receiver to hit your incentives, because if you need 100 catches for the year, they can throw you a screen pass. You could lose 5 yards, but it's still a catch. Versus a running back, if you get a handoff, but you lose 2 yards, then you know what I mean. You're not getting 2 yards, you're losing 2 yards. So I think if you're gonna do incentives for a running back, though, it would depend on what those incentives are, and I think they should be like less.
Real quick, can you get your negotiate? I mean, your agent to negotiate like, hey, I at least need to get this number of touches. You could
put that in there. That don't mean they're gonna agree to it though.
Yeah, about to say coaches still.
That's something they can go in there though.
Wait, you saying like, can they negotiate how many like a requirement for touches?
Yeah, so like let's say if they be like yo, they want you to get, you know how the incentives is like, hey, you get 1,000 yards or make a Pro Bowl selection, blah blah blah, like you get this bonus. Right. But can you counter like, all right, you want me to get 1,000 yards, but you gotta make sure this quarterback gives me.
So you can't put that. You can't negotiate that.
And that's where the owners always win, because if you get close to that incentive, that owner can be like, you know what? Hey,
they can tell coaches like, pull him don't play him,
or they don't even gotta pull you. Don't run the ball. Play action.
Coaches,
screen,
coaches,
throw an interception. Like they can find a way to
they can
make
find
sure
a way.
you don't get the ball.
That's fucked up.
You think a running back more valuable than a wide receiver?
That's a good question. I mean, like I said, I look at them as, no, because receivers, you got some tall receivers out there.
That's a quarterback best friend.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that because it's a passing league now. Like you can win games. Quarterback go for like 500-600 yards and win games and shit.
What receiver chime in on that one? No, I don't think they are.
What, receivers better than running backs?
Yeah, no, I think running backs are more valuable than receivers, just because it really depends on the player. Because everybody's not the same. But like y'all said, you got some running backs that can play receivers, some receivers that can play running back. So it really depends on the player. But
you
can have a sorry quarterback,
and you can say the same thing about receivers, because you got Debo.
Same exact thing.
Debo like a running wide receiver / running back. The way how they use him in San Fran, so he like a.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm like, and it also depends on the quarterback, because if you got a quarterback that you're trying, I'm gonna use development again, but quarterback that mid-tier, a game manager quarterback, you need a running back.
Yeah, take that pressure off him.
The only reason I would say in a quarterback eyes they might think a receiver is more valuable than a running back is because if you throwing the ball, you got to be able to catch the ball. You got to be able to run. If you can't be an effective wide receiver, a quarterback is basically useless. They ain't got nobody to throw the ball to. If you can't catch, then you can't catch. Like, think about it. If you can't catch the ball as a receiver, what the hell is your quarterback doing? Who they throwing the ball? Like, you legitimately useless at that point because you ain't got nobody to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that's why I say, yeah, of course, a wide receiver when it comes to quarterback.
A wide receiver and a tight end go hand in hand with a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
We just looked this up before the call. This is why Chicago was the number one rushing attack. They had ineffective receivers.
Yeah.
So what you got to do if your receiver's ineffective, you got to run the ball.
And what Chicago do last season?
Lose.
Exactly why they probably like that's exactly why they like I can.
I don't think Chicago
because they also had a sorry team.
Yeah, it was competitive a little bit.
See, that's a different conversation. A sorry team versus position. That's a different conversation.
The defense was bad. Receivers was bad. I don't think the running backs was that good. It was just really Justin Fields as the bright spot on the team. Yeah, but sure. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. No receivers.
Me personally, I think it's a balance. Like I wouldn't say I personally would say that you need receivers just as much as you need running backs for that position. Because you gotta be able to run a football. They always say, get the running game going. That's how you set up play action. And play action is only effective if you catch the football. Like I agree with Tim, like tight ends and receivers, because some tight ends are starting to transition into stellar receivers. So but I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, you 70% wide receiver, 30% running back. Like, nah, I wouldn't go that far at all. Like I would say it's a very close balance.
Would you rather have a top tier receiver, low tier running back, or a top tier running back, low tier receiver? Rob, you the running back specialist.
I'm gonna go with you need a top running back and okay receivers. As long as the receivers can catch. I'll be the Chicago Bears.
I don't know because it depends on how you run your offense. So that's a toss up. That's a good question. Because you also, if you got a good running back, he probably would be like
Christian McCaffrey.
Or that could come out the backfield and catch. So probably the running back. You could still have a solid tight end.
Tight ends are receivers.
Technically.
So
but he probably got some good ass hands. Probably can't run at the catch, but he got some good. Low tier. Yep, low tier. Look at the Ravens, for example.
They got
they
got a top tier tight end.
They got an elite tight end.
Elite. I'm more of a fan of the wide receiver, but I probably lean toward the running back being more important if they could play both. Like if they not just a power back.
Listen, man. All right, man. That sounds good. Really Let's be real, man.
Question. Would you rather have LT or T.O.?
This nigga. It's chill. T.O. one of my T.O.
All right.
This good conversation, but let's be serious. You got to have a top tier receiver and a low tier running back.
Today's NFL, you could.
I say in any era of football, because even if you a bottom tier running back, I'm gonna explain why.
No.
In any era of football, and there's no knock to running backs. Even if you don't run the ball effectively, you just need to at least run the ball decent. If you can average a couple yards a play, where they at least respect the running game, you don't got to dominate the running game, but you at least got to respect the running game. If you can be a decent enough running back to make them respect the running game, it's a ball game. Because if I got a top tier receiver and y'all is somewhat threatened by the running game, play action for a touchdown. Or if the game on the line and I need to go no huddle, at least I know I got somebody to throw the ball to. But if all we can do is run the football and they load the box, we losing the game. We're not going to win. So yeah, give me a top tier wide receiver all day over an average running back. Like I would never take a top tier running back over an average wide receiver.
Hold on, Rob. I'm GOAT wide receiver. I'm taking a top tier wide receiver over.
Go wide. I would debate that. I don't know what go wide receiver. Hold on now. Hold on now.
Cause you good.
I'm nice. We ain't good. I'm nice. You better stop. You better stop playing.
I'm GOAT receiver though, cuz.
I respect the confidence for sure. Rob, name 7 top running backs of all time.
Out of all time?
Of all time. Any generation. You can go as far back as you want. Name them.
Oh shit! Dang, where to start? Of course, Barry Sanders.
Okay.
Let me see who in the top. It's LT.
Okay. We just saying LaDainian Tomlinson for those who don't know who LT is.
Emmitt Smith.
Top 10. Emmitt Smith. He probably still number 1.
You want to say Frank Gore? You want to throw Frank Gore? Is Frank?
Yeah, I mean, since he top 10, we gonna say Frank Gore. Frank Gore.
AP. No AP?
AP, yeah, I could say AP. He won MVP. And, yeah, AP.
What's my man name with the gloves? The
What, running back?
father.
Oh, Reggie Bush. What?
That's my guy. You know, Rick.
Who you talking about?
That was my guy, but I don't think that's who he was talking about.
Who you talking about?
OJ Simpson, man. Nigga driving a Bronco.
Oh, shit. He said the glove. Why the fuck you just say OJ Simpson?
There's your TikTok video right there.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
All I was going to say is name me a top running back.
I say Kim Kardashian.
And all of them top running backs that you name in history of all time, how many of them carried their team through their careers? None of them. Emmitt Smith had Troy Aikman, had Michael Irvin, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was nice, but they didn't go nowhere far in his career.
Because they ain't put nobody. Emmitt Smith was the Cowboys.
No, what I'm saying is
you ain't seen Troy Aikman.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Yeah, you ain't seen Troy Aikman throwing 300, 400 yards.
They was a balanced team. What I'm saying is they was at least balanced.
He got 2 Hall of Fame players with him though.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
He had Emmitt Smith,
I'm saying I'm like y'all proving my point. Like all of the players he had, that's what I'm saying. They never carried by themselves. Never.
Yeah, I think only Barry Sanders, and they ain't even Barry Sanders.
What I'm saying is when you think of the San Francisco 49ers, like now look at the top tier wide receivers. Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, T.O. We seen T.O. damn near carry the Eagles to a Super Bowl with a broke leg. Jerry Rice, we don't need to speak on Jerry Rice. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you look at the top receivers, their quarterbacks was able to go to them to carry a game. But a running back, the quarterbacks ain't never been able to go to them to carry them. Like, and we talking about for a career, not for a season. Like just look at their careers and the top wide receivers compared to the top running backs. Who's had greater success long term? That's why
Adrian James had Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning.
Again, you got stud wide receivers around. That's my whole point. You can't name one.
Kurt Warner, Torrey. Oh, hold on. What you mean?
Y'all forgot about Bo Jackson. I'm disappointed in y'all. How y'all gonna disrespect my guy Bo Jackson like that? He ain't in y'all top list. How dare y'all? That's so disrespectful.
LT was like one of the best running backs. He ain't really had no receivers except for Antonio Gates.
And what LT do?
He couldn't beat the Patriots.
That's my point. That's my whole point. Like,
I mean, they almost had the opportunity. The field goal, the kicker missed the field goal, but
through the course of their careers, Jerry Rice has had more success carrying a team than any running back ever. And he ain't even the best receiver. He number 2 to me. I got Randy Moss number 1. I'm fine with T.O. too. T.O. my guy too. What I'm saying is you're not, and this is no knock to running backs at all. I fuck with the running back position.
He had quarterback. He had a nice ass quarterback. That's Jerry Rice.
That's the whole point.
They go hand in hand. That's what he's saying. He's saying a running back was never really a nigga that
can carry a team. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I said a wide receiver is a quarterback best friend. I'm not saying wide receivers are better than running backs, but what I'm saying is a quarterback need a wide receiver. They go hand in hand.
But that's your opinion. I mean, yeah, but I don't agree with that. But okay,
and that's cool. Hey, yeah, you ain't got to.
Hey, hold on, Rob. You can prove your point. That's what we are.
That's what the podcast is.
I just plugged this.
No, I'm gonna just leave it right there. But I don't agree with it.
That cool. We can agree to disagree.
I agree. Yeah,
let you know. Historically, what you said last episode, Tim, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Historically, numbers seem to lean in the favor. Now,
today's game, is a passing lead. Of course, like they go hand in hand. But back in the day, when it was,
it's never been a running back league. Never. Until they start, once they start passing the football, I should say. I can't say never, because originally football was just a run. It won't no pass. Once they start putting that thing in the air, it was at minimum balance.
And once they started changing the rules, niggas started being soft. Running back started dying. Like the DBs can barely touch the receivers. So like receivers just out there, bitch, just playing tag for real. Like they can do whatever for real, because DBs can barely touch them when they're getting flagged. So it's a receiver league for real.